In this video, we're going to be breaking down the top places to live in Colorado. We're not just going to give you our opinion, but instead, we're going to use the 2024 niche.com ratings. And I got to be honest with you guys, I just took a look at the list and some of the places are a little surprising. So I thought we'd have a little fun with this video. We're going to jump over to niche.com, start running through the list, and I'm going to give you guys my honest and genuine feedback on how I really think that the city ranking should go. And hopefully I don't offend anybody on here if you live in one of these areas, but I know you guys come here because you want our honest and genuine feedback. And I thought it'd be a little bit fun to kind of break up our usual flow of the channel, just giving you our opinion on some of the top places. Let's see what the ratings say, and then I'll give you my 2 cents on them. So with that being said, let's jump over to niche.com and take a look. All right, so here we are, niche.com, and as you can see, 2024 best places to live in Colorado. Let's take a look here. Number 1, Holly Hills. When I first took a look at this, I genuinely had to ask myself, where the heck is Holly Hills? All right, and I'm like, hey, for the number 1 best place to live in Colorado, I don't feel like I should be having to ask where Holly Hills is. So let's click on it. So, okay, so let me scroll down here a little bit because they should have the area outlined. Here we go. Where we're at right here, you see you've got I-25 running north and south. I'm going to make this actually a little bit bigger here. And we've got Hampton here on the south side. We've got Evans here on the north side. If I zoom out a little bit here, you guys are going to be able to see that downtown Denver is here on the very north side of the map. So really we're sitting here in South Denver. This is actually pretty close to University of Denver, which we have just right over here. But honestly, guys, I was very surprised to see that this was rated the number 1 place to live. I'm honestly very curious as to why. Now, if we come back here to Holly Hills, we can see that they've got A+ rating. They got A+ public schools, B+ on housing, A+ as in good for families, A+ on nightlife, which I was also very, very surprised to find out. Now, you can also see right here that they've got a population of 2,800. So frankly, I'm not sure that's big enough of a population to get good enough data in order to claim the number 1 position, but they're definitely claiming it. Let's jump over here to Google Earth. All right, so here we go. So let's check out Holly Hills and see what we are working with here. Just to give you guys some framework, it is right here on the east side of I-25. And I'm going to jump down here to our 3D view. It sits just north of the Denver Tech Center, or DTC as we like to call it here in Colorado, which is kind of our little corporate downtown area, more of the south side down near I-25. As we come in and look at a lot of these houses, guys, a lot of these are going to be built in the 1960s and 1970s. I mean, they don't have particularly big yards. You know, there are some parks and stuff like that around here. Let's jump down to Street View and take a look here and just see, you know, what type of neighborhood we're looking at. Cruise around here a little bit, give you guys a little bit of a feel of what it's like to be down, boots on the ground here in Holly Hills. So cute neighborhood. This guy needs to mow his lawn. Everyone loves a neighbor like that. Let's keep going here. Looks pretty decent. Not terrible. Doesn't look like anything, you know, very spectacular. Let's keep going. You know, yeah, this looks like our typical South Denver neighborhood that was built in the 1960s. We'll come down this road. Yep, you know, standard brick homes. You're going to find a lot of ranch style homes out here. Again, they're older homes. I was kind of surprised too, seeing this as number 1, because this isn't just a standout area that people are like, oh, you live in Holly Hills. Oh, you got to move to Holly Hills. Schools are great. Again, not saying that they're not great schools or anything like that, but I'm definitely saying it's just not one of those neighborhoods that is, at least for me, known for having just phenomenal schools, you know, great for families and stuff like that. And especially the nightlife thing. I don't know what nightlife they are talking about in the area, because I mean, when it comes to nightlife, you're not near Denver, you know, you're on the south, more kind of corporate area near Denver Tech Center. There is a lot of commercial around there, but commercial as in grocery stores and like just your general day-to-day things that you need to live. I honestly was very, very surprised to see this on as a number 1 place to live in Colorado. So I was a little taken back by that, but hey, we got to be honest. And again, if you live in Holly Hills, absolutely nothing wrong with Holly Hills, right? To me, it is just, you know, an average Denver neighborhood. So this is one, seeing this as number 1, this one really, really, really caught me by surprise. Not quite sure why this is ranked number 1. Again, no offense to anyone that lives in the area, just being honest with you. Again, there's nothing wrong with this area necessarily. I just don't know if there's anything that necessarily stands out about Holly Hills, especially that would make it number 1. All right, before jumping into number 2, guys, a quick reminder that we are licensed real estate brokers in the state of Colorado. So as much as we like making these videos, we'd love more to help you with your real estate needs. So there's a number popping up on the screen below right now, right here. If you throw us a phone call, text message, or email, we'd love to jump on a Zoom call with you, help you with any of your real estate needs. So with that being said, guys, let's check out number 2. All right, so let's jump over to niche.com again. Check out number 2. Number 2, second place, we've got Cherry Creek. This isn't the Cherry Creek we've talked about a lot, which is the Cherry Creek in downtown, which I absolutely love and quite frankly think should be the actual number 2 on here. But let's jump in and take a look at what Cherry Creek they're talking about. So the Cherry Creek that niche.com is talking about is going to be this one right here. So we're just a little bit further south of where we were with Holly Hills. Holly Hills is right up here. Cherry Creek is going to be right down here, right next to Cherry Creek State Park, which is a phenomenal park. There's an amazing dog park over there. There's this huge body of water, which you can go and you can paddleboard on, do all sorts of fun stuff. It's kind of funny because this is almost like this big, just very natural state park, giant lake, just right here in the middle of this urban sprawling area. So a very, very cool park. And again, if you have a dog and you live in the area, it is an excellent place to take them to go explore. Come over here to Google Earth because technically this is in Centennial. Now, this part of Centennial, which are right here on Google Earth, Centennial in general is going to be a little bit older. All right. It's mostly developed around 70s to 80s. And one of the things that is a big draw for people around here is you're right in the middle of, again, all of this sort of an urban oasis, I guess I'll call it, where you have a lot of commercial places. This is Arapahoe Road right here. Arapahoe Road is a pretty busy road. It's pretty much all commercial. And this is honestly DTC right here. So I just mentioned DTC, Denver Tech Center. This is a lot of it. So when I call it kind of like a mini downtown, this is a very corporate sort of area where, a lot of people are coming here to work, whether they're coming from down south or coming from up north. This is just a very popular area Monday through Friday. During the work week, this place is going to be popping, but then come the weekend time, it slows down quite a bit. But if we come over here to the Cherry Creek area that they're mentioning, you are going to find a lot of mature trees. And this is one thing that people do love about the area, as opposed to, let's say, a Castle Rock where there is just a lot more new builds, is you don't have the maturity that you're going to have in a lot of these neighborhoods. This is also very close to Greenwood Village, as well as Cherry Hills, which are just notorious higher end places to live. Again, older classic Denver style homes. You're not going to have a ton of new construction out there, but again, people move here because they like the classic feel of it. They like the quiet streets, and there are really good school ratings out here. So let's jump down onto one of these streets. We're just going to jump down into the cul-de-sac here, take a look at some of these areas. So again, as you can see, the homes, this one's actually a little bit newer. This is probably 1978. This one has this like wood shake style roof. You're not even allowed to have those anymore. There's a lot of greenery. There are trees everywhere. And these homes are nice. They're just older homes and, they're good quality construction, I'm sure, but it is just a little bit older. You are going to find many, many parks around here. I would definitely say that there would be more kids and families in an area like this than maybe opposed to Holly Hills. And there are just more schools down here. Again, really good school rankings and whatnot. I'm going to pop out of here and we're going to go check out another part of Cherry Creek. So here we're getting fairly close to Greenwood Village right here. And again, just see how big their yard is and how many trees and stuff they have around here. This is something you're just not going to find in a new build community. These people, you can't even see where their house is. Their driveway is so long. So you've got some massive properties out here, which honestly is so rare for Colorado in general, but really rare for being right in the middle of all of this commerce and shopping areas, right? Like these people's yards are huge. A lot of these homes, it almost looks like more of the homes that you see in the Midwest. So if that is more your style, this is a really, really cool area because you don't find properties like this without going really far on the outskirts of town. But here you've got everything just right in the middle of it all. So if you guys are going to be working down in the tech center or anywhere around there, this might be a really good place for you to come check out. So, this does make more sense to be on the list, right? I'm not as surprised to see this on here as I was Holly Hills because there is just a lot of variety out here in this area, and I would definitely say better nightlife rankings than Holly Hills. How that ended up as number 1, again, not quite sure. I'll stop talking about it. This I feel like could be a better number 2, even though I am such a big fan of the Cherry Creek area in downtown Denver. A few different Cherry Creeks in Colorado. It can be a little bit confusing for people that are coming here because you have Cherry Creek. I'll just show you guys here on the map, give you guys the Cherry Creek rundown here because this is a little important. So you're going to have traditional downtown Cherry Creek. So when people say Cherry Creek, they're usually talking about this Cherry Creek area right here, where you do just have a lot of high-end stores, a lot of just really absolutely gorgeous homes and condos. And I was just down here last weekend with my wife for date night. I live out in the country about 45 minutes from downtown, and it just took us 35 minutes to get from our house down to Cherry Creek for date night. So you have this Cherry Creek, you have the other Cherry Creek that we just mentioned right down here near Cherry Creek State Park. And then you also have Cherry Creek School District, which is out here in Southeast Aurora. It can get a little bit confusing. We have a multitude of Cherry Creeks out here. Not sure why. Now you've got the rundown. All right, next up in third place, we've got North Park Hill. This is another one that I was pleasantly surprised to see on the list. I'll put it that way, because typically what's most commonly talked about is South Park Hill, right? South Park Hill, we actually just featured on our video last week where you're super close. You guys can see right here, we've got the Denver Zoo, we've got City Park, the Museum of Nature and Science is here also. This is a very, very cool park. It's huge. There's tons of room for you, regardless of how busy it is. You're always going to have room there to do fun park activities. But right across Colorado Boulevard is South Park Hill. And then from 23rd and up, you're here in North Park Hill. Now, North Park Hill has really been climbing the ranks as far as school rankings. Let's go check it out here. So they've got a B+ on their public schools, A+ for nightlife. That one I would actually agree with, just considering how close to downtown you are. A for diversity, A+ as in good for families, B for housing, and you've got 11,000 people as the population there. If I had to guess why they picked this for number 3 is the proximity to the city park that I just mentioned. Again, being that close to the museum and a giant park and the zoo. When you talk about things to do for families, like you could literally walk to all of those areas from North Park Hill. Now, in addition to that, North Park Hill is definitely going to be more affordable than South Park Hill. And when it comes to housing and stuff, I could see it ranking really good for that. And one thing that, I've also been pleasantly surprised to see is that Denver School District, the individual school ratings are definitely on the rise. So if we come back here to niche.com, you're going to see here, these are the schools that are serving North Park Hill. You've got East High School with an A rating. You've got Denver School of Arts, you've got Montview High School, Cedar High School, Northfield High School. They don't have the elementary school ratings on here, which I'm sure you could see if you do a deeper dive, but it is really nice. I know like the high school rankings have gotten a lot better over the past couple of years. This really is a great up and coming area. Like right here, we've got some other rankings. Number 1 is in best neighborhoods to live in Denver. So Denver neighborhoods. We've got number 1 in best neighborhoods to raise a family in Denver. And then we've got number 2 as for best neighborhoods to buy a house in Denver. And again, when you're looking at the all-encompassing rankings of proximity to downtown, affordability of housing, and then school ratings, and then things to do in and around the Park Hill area, I could see how they've got it on the list here. Now, does it compare to a Wash Park or a Cherry Creek, some areas that we often talk about when referencing downtown, or even like a Lower Highlands? It's different, right? These areas, South Park Hill and North Park Hill, those are what I would call the urban suburban areas, the areas where it feels almost like you're in a Denver suburban neighborhood, quiet streets, very green, lined with trees. You guys saw that in our video last week as we were walking South Park Hill. So it's definitely different. A Wash Park, the park itself, busier, the neighborhoods possibly a little bit quieter, maybe a little bit older demographic there. A Lower Highlands is going to be a lot of young professionals, more hustle and bustle, a lot of shopping and dining, and a lot of trendy restaurants and things like that. And then if you're looking at a Cherry Creek, again, that's going to be a very shopping heavy area, nightlife focused area. One's number 1 for nightlife. So you can't really compare them all. But again, with them being in such close proximity to each other, it is pretty cool. If you're living in one, it's not too far and not too much of a hassle to get to the other and enjoy all the amenities that place has to offer. All right, moving forward, guys, let's see number 4, 2024 best places to live. Greenwood Village. All right, now this one does not come as a surprise to me. Let's jump in and check it out. You guys heard me mention it in the last one a couple of times. Let's show you guys the outline here of where exactly we are at. All of these are in a very, very similar area. You can see this one actually covers part of that previous Cherry Creek area that we mentioned, which was right here. And this is going to cover this area over I-25. It's going to include parts of DTC, Denver Tech Center, and it's going to extend out west here, sitting just south of Cherry Hills Village. Now, if we come over here to Google Earth, bam. All right, so let's go to our 3D cam and take a peek here. All right, so here we are on the west side now. Already, I see our Trader Joe's right here, okay? If you're in Colorado and you don't love Trader Joe's, then you probably haven't lived in Colorado long enough. Bonus number one, immediately they have a Trader Joe's right there. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in on some of these streets here, jump down to Street View and take a look at some of the homes that we can expect to find out here. Now, these are going to be a lot of your again, very similar to the other neighborhoods, traditional Denver style homes. And then one thing you will find in Greenwood Village, let me back up just a little bit here. You will find more homes like this that are just kind of random new builds. This isn't a brand new build, but there was definitely a home here that they either built on top of or tore down and built this new one. This is actually quite a beautiful home that they have here. But then as you cruise around, it's going to be like a lot of the other, similar style homes that we've seen in the other neighborhoods. Nothing against Greenwood Village at all. Very popular in Colorado for, this kind of southern Denver style of home. Here they're doing some construction or some work on this home. Again, like I said, you'll see a lot of homes being remodeled or rebuilt and scraped and built out here. Very quiet neighborhoods. Again, very family friendly. You do have good schools here. Guys, I got to be honest with you. I'm a little surprised at our top 3 so far. Like here, you've got another one of those homes, kind of like I mentioned, that has been torn down and rebuilt. There are a lot of people that really do want to live, near Denver, but not in Denver. And they do like kind of the older style of homes. But like I said before, I'm kind of surprised by our top 3 list. When I consider living in Colorado and I think about living in Colorado, I think of nature. I think of proximity to hiking. I think of places I could take my dog, right? Like parks nearby. These places definitely have parks, but it doesn't necessarily feel like you're in Colorado, right? And there's something you guys have heard me say that, a lot of people think when they're moving to Denver that you're going to be in the mountains and there's snow everywhere and mountains everywhere and elk in your front yard. Definitely not the case. There definitely are places like that. But for the most part, if you're living in the Denver metro area, it's kind of have your typical urban sprawl feel. You can see the mountains on the west side, which is phenomenal, but it may not feel like you're like in the mountains if you're living in these normal just Denver metro areas, right? And so far we're on number 4 on this list, and not one of these neighborhoods has been nature focused or even close to nature or even have any nature within it. And with how much of just that is a Colorado thing, for real, it's a Colorado thing, I'm honestly quite surprised at our top 4 so far. Let's go back to our list here. Let's take a look at number 5. All right. Downtown Denver. Number 5 best place to live in Colorado, according to niche.com, downtown Denver. Let's click on this. Let's take a look at downtown. Now, already looking at the ratings, we've got A+ for nightlife. Agree, it's downtown, right? To be expected. B- on public schools. Could be better. Kind of surprised that this is on the top 5 list with B-. C+ on housing. Again, surprised it's on the top list. A- good for families, which is also kind of surprising because you just don't see a whole lot of families that are living downtown. What they're considering downtown right here is almost what we would consider, Lodo, this lower downtown area. Just about the baseball stadium right here. There's just not single family homes around here. You're going to find a lot of high rises, condos, and things like that. Not a whole ton of single family homes. You're definitely getting into some townhomes and whatnot here. But again, I'm surprised to see this on the list. We just don't have that many people that are moving to downtown. Now, unlike a lot of other areas, other big cities right there, like let's say Chicago, for example, you do have a lot of people that literally live downtown. You look at some places in California, there's a lot of people that live in, downtown San Diego, downtown San Francisco. In Denver, not that a lot of people live down there. Obviously, people live in downtown Denver. People, for the most part, like I was saying before, they're very big on their yards. They're very big on their animals and their pets and dogs. Dogs are so popular here. Tons of dog lovers. You're just not going to get that downtown, right? Nothing against downtown. It's a great place to go hang out. Downtown has also been making a lot of really good improvements, again, with their food, their restaurants. They've grown a lot in that sense over the past few years. I know we've just gotten some recent Michelin star restaurants that are there. So in my opinion, downtown has been seeing a lot of positive growth. But, when I look at the top 5, top 10 list of places to live in Colorado, I wouldn't really put it on the top list. But again, this is just Eli's opinion. But this is part of the fun of doing this video, is be able to see, hey, what is niche.com? What are online rankings saying? And then just what's our 2 cents and our own opinions. Downtown, guys, especially Lower Highlands, you guys see the drone footage, you see the B-roll from that. It's awesome. Downtown, there's a lot of great places. We just did a video a couple weeks ago where we were walking downtown, checking out the baseball stadium as well. There's some fun stuff to do down there. I just don't necessarily think if I would put it on the, the top list of places to go live. Now, let's go back to our list for our last and final one and see where we are looking. Number 6, best place to live in Colorado, Castle Pines. Finally. All right. Now this one I definitely agree with, although I would put it in the top 5. I would not have it in number 6. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Castle Pines, if you're familiar with our channel at all, you definitely have heard us talk about Castle Rock, and Castle Pines sits just north of Castle Rock right here. So right here would be Castle Rock. This is Castle Pines. So they literally touch each other. Castle Pines feels like, a more mature, more established and smaller Castle Rock. Now in Castle Pines, one of my favorite things about it, just as I was talking about before, is the nature. So let's go back to Google Earth. Boom, here we go. So we are heading south. We've got I-25 running right up here in the middle, and you have a big section over here on the right, which is fairly new. This section over here on the right, this pretty much just encompasses this community called the Canyons, and this is a new build community. There are some awesome homes out here. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this, and this is what I would consider new Castle Pines. I'll show you old Castle Pines here in just a moment, but this is new Castle Pines. So over here in the Canyons, this is going to be your more traditional style of new build homes. As we can see here, as we're cruising around, all new builds. You don't have the mature trees like we saw in a lot of the other neighborhoods that we were just looking around in the Cherry Creek area, but some gorgeous homes, some smaller yards, honestly not smaller than the Denver ones that we were looking at. There's a lot of really good stuff here, and in the Canyons specifically, they have a really cool coffee shop and restaurant. So it's kind of specific to the neighborhood. So if you're living in the area, there's always good avocado toast and coffee in the Canyons. Anytime I'm showing homes down there, I always got to stop and grab some of those. But let's come across here. I want to show you guys the old Castle Pines, or the original Castle Pines is probably a better way to put it, which is going to be here over on the west side of I-25. Now, there is a golf course that runs here through Castle Pines. A portion of this, called the Village at Castle Pines, is a gated community. And, in that gated community, you're going to find anywhere from $2 to $6 million homes. There's some absolutely stunning homes up there. Now, one of the things that I love about Castle Pines that is most notable for me is how you feel like you're literally in the mountains. So when you go to any mountain town, Keystone, Breckenridge, any of those places, when you're driving those streets, they're a little bit more narrow streets. They're lined with pine trees. And that's exactly what you get with Castle Pines. You can see, some of these homes are massive, massive homes, and they're all different, right? Like there's definitely a vibe in Castle Pines, like a more mountainy vibe. But they're going to have homes like this that are just very modern and contemporary. You've got this one that looks like a castle. They're all like big lots, very heavily wooded, a lot of rocks and natural terrain that are around. If you're looking for variety, tons of square footage, and to feel like you're living in the mountains while being 35 minutes from downtown Denver and on a golf course. Also in Castle Pines, one unique thing is that there's a lot of elk there. There's a big elk herd in Castle Pines. For whatever reason, you don't really see elk any other metro city neighborhoods. It's really kind of interesting. Castle Pines is so unique. If I had to say, one negative thing about Castle Pines, or not negative, but just an observation, is that there's not a whole ton of like commercial developments out there. You definitely have your grocery store. You have some really, really good schools. This Douglas County School District You have some really, really good school ratings down there, but they intentionally haven't developed Castle Pines a ton. But guys, you're 5 minutes from Castle Rock. So if you're living here in Castle Pines, you're just using Castle Rock's shopping, dining, like those sort of amenities. Now, again, just to show you guys some of these homes out here, like they're stunning. This home, like these couple homes right here, sitting right here on the golf course with just that beautiful, sprawling, contemporary look. These are absolutely gorgeous. And unfortunately, I can't go down here on Street View because they don't have Street View because it's gated and private and protected. Again, great schools, really, really unique, absolutely gorgeous homes out here. And these homes feel like you are in Colorado. So that's it, guys. You know, I was honestly very surprised looking at this list and kind of underwhelmed. Hopefully I'm not offending anybody. If you live in those areas, the first areas that we talked about, completely fine neighborhoods, nothing wrong with them at all. But it's like when you have a Castle Pines to compare to a Castle Rock to compare to, and when you're looking at pricing too, like homes in Castle Rock, they're going to be on par with homes in a South Park Hill or a North Park Hill or a Greenwood Village or a Cherry Creek. So it's not like price difference or affordability factors that I'm looking over here. I'm just very underwhelmed by Niche's list, right? When you're looking at the top 4 or 5 places on there are just kind of like normal Denver neighborhoods with 1960s homes and kind of smallish yards and stuff like that. I just definitely think there are some just Colorado type of places, right? More trails, more open space, more things to do, more fun to have. Even like a Lower Highlands I thought would be on there, and it wasn't. And again, that's an extremely popular area. But that's exactly why I wanted to do this video, guys, because I wanted to give you a little bit of contrast as you guys are on niche.com doing your own research, as you're coming to our videos to get our opinion and our perspective. I wanted to make a good, honest video here for you guys, just giving you the breakdown from a local's opinion on niche.com versus what we tend to see and like, and our clients tend to like and be drawn to. So appreciate you guys watching, spending some time with me. There is a number popping up down on the bottom of the screen here. Again, we are licensed real estate brokers. We'd love to help you with the real estate needs. If you give us a phone call, text message, or email. If you're watching this on your phone, take a screenshot. If you're watching this on your TV, take a picture with your phone so you know where to reach us. We'd love to jump on a Zoom call with you. And honestly, exactly what I did today is a lot of what we do with you guys on your Zooms. Instead of me just giving our opinion, we're asking what you're looking for, what your wants and your needs are, what's important to you when you're making your move out to Colorado, and then giving you just our tailored 2 cents as far as what could work best for you. So again, appreciate your time today, guys. We'll see you in the next video.